Just when people thought the Remy Ma and Papoose situation had finally reached its limit, the internet was once again reminded that celebrity mess rarely.
What began as a tense legal proceeding spiraled into a chaotic public confrontation that no one could have predicted, and the fallout from this moment is only just beginning. Cameras were rolling, reporters were gathered, and in a matter of seconds, a private family war became a worldwide spectacle that may haunt everyone involved for years to come. What allegedly happened today isn't simply about an argument or a moment of lost control. It's about betrayal layered on top of betrayal, secrets dragged into daylight, and a family already fractured finally snapping under the weight of years of unresolved pain. At the center of it all is Kandi, her mother, Mama Joyce, and a DNA revelation so explosive that it detonated everything in its path. This is not just drama, it's a cautionary tale about what happens when private truths collide with public exposure. Outside the courthouse, tensions were already simmering. Kandi was there following the conclusion of a bitter divorce, custody disputes, and intense legal battles that had drained her emotionally and mentally. The pressure had been building for weeks, with whispers circulating online and behind the scenes. But no one expected what would allegedly happen next. According to witnesses, after a brutal and shocking secret came to light, Kandi confronted her own mother, Mama Joyce, in front of cameras, reporters, and onlookers. What followed, witnesses claim, escalated rapidly into a physical altercation that stunned everyone present. The alleged trigger for this explosion was a revelation that sent shockwaves through the family and the internet alike. Mama Joyce is accused of leaking Riley Burruss's DNA results, revealing the claim that Riley's biological father is allegedly actor Colman Domingo. This revelation, reportedly released without consent, shattered any remaining sense of privacy the family had. A secret that should have been handled with care, sensitivity, and protection for a child was suddenly everywhere, shared, reposted, debated, and dissected by millions of strangers online. For Kandi, the emotional impact of this alleged betrayal was devastating. The DNA revelation didn't just expose a family secret, it ripped open wounds that had never healed and humiliated her daughter on a global scale. Witnesses described Kandi as visibly shaken, overwhelmed by rage, heartbreak, and disbelief. Years of tension between mother and daughter allegedly reached a breaking point in a matter of seconds. Outside the courthouse, words were exchanged, accusations flew, and according to multiple accounts, shoves followed. The confrontation was raw, emotional, and entirely unfiltered. What made the moment even more heartbreaking was the presence of Riley herself. Standing nearby with her grandmother, Riley allegedly watched as her mother and grandmother collided in fury and resentment. A child already grappling with a life-altering DNA revelation now found herself witnessing a public family implosion. Cameras captured her frozen reaction, caught between loyalty, confusion, and pain. In that moment, the true cost of exposed secrets became painfully clear. This was no longer about adults arguing. It was about a child forced into the spotlight of a scandal she never asked for. As the alleged altercation unfolded, social media detonated almost instantly. Within minutes, clips of the confrontation spread across platforms, trending worldwide. Every angle was analyzed: Kandi's expression, Mama Joyce's stance, Riley's reaction. Fans, critics, and commentators took sides immediately, debating morality, blame, and justification. What should have been a private family reckoning became a viral spectacle, amplified by outrage, curiosity, and endless speculation. Inside the courthouse, the chaos followed. The legal atmosphere was already tense, but the emotional energy from outside spilled straight into the courtroom. Mama Joyce wasted no time filing a lawsuit against Kandi, alleging assault and emotional distress. Legal teams on both sides quickly mobilized, framing the narrative in drastically different ways. Kandi's attorneys argued that the alleged confrontation was a human response to extreme provocation, pointing to the public DNA leak as an unforgivable violation of trust and privacy. Mama Joyce's legal team countered by portraying Kandi as unstable, impulsive, and dangerous, insisting that aggression is never justified regardless of emotional pain. The courtroom, meant to be a place of order and resolution, transformed into a theater of unresolved trauma. Journalists scribbled nonstop as lawyers traded accusations that cut deeper than any legal filing. Every word carried emotional weight. Every glance between Kandi and Mama Joyce was loaded with years of bitterness, manipulation, and unmet expectations. This was not just a lawsuit, it was a battle over narrative, reputation, and control. Riley remained the emotional center of the storm. Sitting quietly, wiping away tears, her pain spoke louder than any testimony. The DNA revelation had already flipped her world upside down, and now a courtroom amplified her trauma under the relentless gaze of cameras and strangers. Experts later weighed in, emphasizing the psychological toll on a child caught between feuding adults, especially when private family matters are exposed so publicly. Every mention of her name reminded viewers that behind every viral clip is a real human cost.
Todd, meanwhile, remained largely in the background. Having already emerged victorious in prenup and custody battles, his legal wins now seemed hollow against the backdrop of a family unraveling publicly. Observers noted his distant presence, watching as Kandi battled not only her mother, but the court of public opinion. What should have been closure felt overshadowed by chaos, scandal, and emotional collapse. As testimony continued, witnesses described the outside confrontation in vivid detail. One security guard recounted seeing Kandi approach Mama Joyce with what he described as fire in her eyes. Others claimed shoves were exchanged and voices raised, with Riley clinging to her grandmother in disbelief. Each account added fuel to an already raging fire, painting a picture of a family imploding in real time. The courtroom audience sat stunned as these moments were replayed through words, videos, and still frames. Kandi eventually took the stand herself. Her voice reportedly quivered, but her resolve was clear. She spoke of betrayal, of being cornered, and of trying desperately to protect her daughter from a truth that was never meant for public consumption. She described years of emotional manipulation, control, and unresolved pain that allegedly pushed her to the edge. According to Kandi, the alleged confrontation was not about violence, it was about desperation, about finally snapping after a lifetime of being undermined and exposed. Mama Joyce, by contrast, maintained an icy composure throughout the proceedings. Her legal team presented timelines, screenshots, and messages meant to portray Kandi as volatile and unpredictable. They argued that their actions were motivated by concern for Riley's well-being and the need to bring truth to light regardless of discomfort. Still, subtle tremors, tight jaws, sharp glances betrayed the emotional stakes beneath the calm exterior. Outside the courthouse, the media frenzy intensified. Influencers, news outlets, and gossip pages analyzed every second of footage, debating who was right and who crossed the line. Hashtags trended for hours. Fans picked sides passionately, turning the family's pain into a digital battleground. Morality, loyalty, parental responsibility, and privacy became hotly contested topics, with millions weighing in as if they were jurors themselves. Legal experts chimed in, discussing emotional distress, provocation, and the consequences of leaking sensitive information. Child welfare specialists warned of long-term trauma when children are exposed to public family conflicts. Psychologists emphasized how secrets, when weaponized, can destroy trust beyond repair. Every expert opinion added another layer to an already complex and heartbreaking story. As the day wore on, the judge called a recess, but the tension never eased. Kandi retreated with her legal team, strategizing under immense pressure. Mama Joyce addressed reporters, speaking about responsibility, boundaries, and the dangers of unchecked emotion. Riley remained silent, her every reaction scrutinized, every tear broadcast and analyzed. Even in stillness, she became a symbol of everything at stake. However, according to reports circulating rapidly online, the spark that ignited this explosion was a deeply personal revelation that should never seen daylight. Mama Joyce is accused of leaking Riley Burruss's DNA results, exposing the claim that Riley's biological father is allegedly actor Colman Domingo. That revelation hit like a thunderclap. It didn't just shake the family, it sent shockwaves through social media, fan communities, and entertainment news platforms worldwide. Within minutes, the story was everywhere, debated and dissected by people who had no connection to the emotional reality behind it. A private family matter became public property, and the consequences were immediate and devastating. The courthouse itself was already heavy with tension long before the alleged confrontation took place. Divorce proceedings, custody disputes, and unresolved legal drama had been weighing on everyone involved for months. Emotions were already raw, patience was thin, and trust had been eroding quietly behind the scenes. But no one expected the situation to explode the way it did. Witnesses say that when Kandi learned of the alleged DNA leak and its public exposure, something inside her snapped. Years of resentment, hurt, and feeling undermined reportedly surged to the surface all at once, and outside those courthouse doors, she confronted her mother directly. What followed, according to witnesses, was not a calm conversation or a private argument. It was an eruption. Voices were raised, accusations flew, and then, allegedly, it turned physical. Shoves were exchanged in front of rolling cameras, reporters froze in disbelief, and bystanders stood stunned as a deeply personal family conflict played out in real time for the entire world to see. Every movement, every glare, every word dripping with anger and betrayal was captured and preserved forever. And then came the most heartbreaking detail of all. Riley was there, standing beside her grandmother, watching her mother and grandmother clash in a storm of fury, resentment, and shattered trust. A child already grappling with a life-altering DNA revelation was now forced to witness her family implode publicly. Cameras caught her frozen expression, the disbelief, the pain, the confusion. In that moment, it became painfully clear that the greatest cost of this scandal would not be paid by the adults trading accusations, but the child caught in the middle of it all.
Social media erupted almost instantly. Within minutes, clips of the alleged confrontation spread like wildfire, trending worldwide across platforms. Every angle was replayed, every frame was analyzed. Fear, rage, heartbreak, and humiliation were frozen in time and consumed by millions. Fans took sides immediately. Comment sections turned into battlegrounds. Hashtags exploded. What should have been handled behind closed doors became a public theater of emotional warfare, power struggles, and fractured loyalty. As the clips circulated, past tensions resurfaced as well. Kandi addressed allegations that she had set someone up, firmly denying those claims. She spoke about feeling constantly targeted and manipulated, stating that her mother has long wanted Todd to be doing something wrong, reacting with excitement to any accusation or rumor involving him. Those words added yet another layer to an already explosive narrative, revealing that the conflict didn't begin with the DNA revelation. It merely exposed wounds that had been festering for years. Inside the courthouse, the chaos didn't stop. Mama Joyce reportedly filed a lawsuit against Kandi almost immediately, alleging assault and emotional distress. Lawyers and court staff described the atmosphere as chaotic, tense, and emotionally overwhelming. Every exchange between mother and daughter carried the weight of years of unresolved conflict. Every accusation felt personal. Every glance seemed loaded with bitterness, disappointment, and betrayal. What was meant to be a legal proceeding quickly transformed into a deeply emotional confrontation, spilling far beyond legal arguments. Outside, the crowd grew larger by the minute. Reporters scrambled for angles. Onlookers gathered, drawn by whispers, cameras, and viral clips spreading in real time. Tears were visible, voices shook, hands trembled. The courthouse steps became the epicenter of one of the most explosive family battles in recent memory. This wasn't scripted drama. This was raw, uncontrolled emotion colliding with relentless public exposure. For Kandi, the timing couldn't have been worse. Her divorce from Todd had already been finalized. Custody and prenup battles were officially behind her. What should have been a moment of closure instead became the beginning of something far more painful. She now faces a divided family, a daughter caught in the middle, and a mother accused of exposing a devastating secret to the world. Legal victories suddenly feel meaningless when your personal life is unraveling in front of millions. Todd, meanwhile, remained largely on the sidelines. Having already emerged victorious in legal disputes, his presence now feels distant and overshadowed by the emotional chaos unfolding. Observers note that those wins now seem hollow compared to the storm engulfing the family. The focus has shifted entirely from legal outcomes to emotional fallout, and no one involved is untouched by it. As the story continued to unfold, every new clip, every leaked detail, and every whispered allegation added fuel to the fire. What was once a private family matter has now become a global conversation about loyalty, boundaries, parental responsibility, and the cost of hidden truths. People aren't just watching, they're debating morality, dissecting body language, and projecting their own beliefs onto a family they don't know personally but feel deeply invested in. This is no longer just about an alleged physical altercation. It's about trust that has been shattered beyond recognition. It's about the damage caused when secrets are exposed without consent. It's about power dynamics between generations and the emotional toll of feeling controlled, undermined, or betrayed by someone who was supposed to protect you. And above all, it's about a child forced to process all of this under the harshest spotlight imaginable. As legal proceedings continued, the courtroom became a powder keg. Every word spoken felt like it could ignite another explosion. Kandi entered trembling but defiant, clearly aware that the world had already formed opinions about her based on viral footage and selective narratives. Mama Joyce sat across from her with icy composure, presenting herself as calm and controlled, despite the chaos swirling around her. Riley remained caught in the middle, her silence louder than any testimony. Kandi's legal team argued that the alleged confrontation was the result of extreme provocation, emphasizing the emotional devastation caused by the public DNA leak. Mama Joyce's attorneys countered by insisting that physical aggression is never justified, regardless of emotional pain. Each side presented their version of the truth, not just to the court, but to the public watching every second unfold online. Witness testimony painted a vivid picture of the chaos outside the courthouse. Security guards described the intensity in Kandi's eyes. Journalists recounted the shock of watching the confrontation unfold. Bystanders spoke of Riley clinging to her grandmother in disbelief. Every account added another layer to the narrative, deepening the sense that this wasn't just a legal dispute, it was a family collapsing in real time. Kandi herself eventually spoke, her voice reportedly shaking as she described feeling cornered, betrayed, and desperate to protect her daughter. She spoke of years of emotional strain and manipulation, of secrets being used as weapons, and of losing control over her own narrative. Whether one agrees with her alleged actions or not, her pain was undeniable. It was the sound of someone who felt pushed beyond her limits.
Mama Joyce's response was equally firm. Through her legal team, she presented timelines, messages, and evidence portraying Kandi as volatile and impulsive. She framed her actions as necessary, painful, but rooted in concern for Riley's well-being. The courtroom became a battleground, not just for facts, but for perception, each side fighting to define what the public should believe. Outside the courthouse, the media frenzy showed no signs of slowing. Influencers, commentators, and gossip outlets analyzed every second of footage. Fans argued relentlessly. Some defended Kandi's emotional reaction, while others condemned it outright. The conversation grew larger than the people involved, touching on broader issues of family loyalty, parental boundaries, and the ethics of exposing deeply personal truths. As the day came to a close, the judge called for a recess, but there was no sense of relief. Kandi retreated with her legal team, visibly shaken. Mama Joyce addressed reporters with carefully measured words about responsibility and accountability. Riley remained quiet, her every move scrutinized, every tear dissected by strangers online. Even in silence, she carried the emotional weight of the entire saga. By the end of the day, it was clear this was no longer just a legal case. It was a tragedy unfolding live, a family torn apart by secrets, exposure, and years of unresolved conflict. Every viral clip ensured the story would live on long after the courthouse doors closed. Reconciliation, if possible at all, now faces obstacles far greater than legal rulings. And that brings us to the question burning in everyone's mind. Was Kandi justified in her alleged reaction, pushed beyond her limits by betrayal and public humiliation? Or did Mama Joyce cross an irreversible line by exposing a secret that should have been protected at all costs? Is truth always righteous, no matter the damage it causes? Or are some truths too dangerous to reveal without compassion? One thing is undeniable. This story is far from over. Every new clip, every court update, every whispered allegation adds another chapter to a saga that has captivated and disturbed audiences worldwide. What began as a private family dispute has become a global conversation about trust, loyalty, and the devastating consequences of turning personal pain into public spectacle. As the courthouse emptied and cameras finally powered down, the emotional wreckage remained. A mother fighting for her truth, a grandmother defending her choices, a child caught in the middle, forced to grow up under the harshest spotlight imaginable. The world continues to watch, dissect, and judge, but the real consequences will be felt long after the trending hashtags fade. So now the question is yours to answer. How far would you go to protect your child? When does truth become cruelty? And can a family survive when its deepest secrets are dragged into the open for millions to see? Don't look away. Don't blink, because this storm has only just begun.
What began as a tense legal proceeding spiraled into a chaotic public confrontation that no one could have predicted, and the fallout from this moment is only just beginning. Cameras were rolling, reporters were gathered, and in a matter of seconds, a private family war became a worldwide spectacle that may haunt everyone involved for years to come. What allegedly happened today isn't simply about an argument or a moment of lost control. It's about betrayal layered on top of betrayal, secrets dragged into daylight, and a family already fractured finally snapping under the weight of years of unresolved pain. At the center of it all is Kandi, her mother, Mama Joyce, and a DNA revelation so explosive that it detonated everything in its path. This is not just drama, it's a cautionary tale about what happens when private truths collide with public exposure. Outside the courthouse, tensions were already simmering. Kandi was there following the conclusion of a bitter divorce, custody disputes, and intense legal battles that had drained her emotionally and mentally. The pressure had been building for weeks, with whispers circulating online and behind the scenes. But no one expected what would allegedly happen next. According to witnesses, after a brutal and shocking secret came to light, Kandi confronted her own mother, Mama Joyce, in front of cameras, reporters, and onlookers. What followed, witnesses claim, escalated rapidly into a physical altercation that stunned everyone present. The alleged trigger for this explosion was a revelation that sent shockwaves through the family and the internet alike. Mama Joyce is accused of leaking Riley Burruss's DNA results, revealing the claim that Riley's biological father is allegedly actor Coleman Domingo. This revelation, reportedly released without consent, shattered any remaining sense of privacy the family had. A secret that should have been handled with care, sensitivity, and protection for a child was suddenly everywhere, shared, reposted, debated, and dissected by millions of strangers online. For Kandi, the emotional impact of this alleged betrayal was devastating. The DNA revelation didn't just expose a family secret, it ripped open wounds that had never healed and humiliated her daughter on a global scale. Witnesses described Kandi as visibly shaken, overwhelmed by rage, heartbreak, and disbelief. Years of tension between mother and daughter allegedly reached a breaking point in a matter of seconds. Outside the courthouse, words were exchanged, accusations flew, and according to multiple accounts, shoves followed. The confrontation was raw, emotional, and entirely unfiltered. What made the moment even more heartbreaking was the presence of Riley herself. Standing nearby with her grandmother, Riley allegedly watched as her mother and grandmother collided in fury and resentment. A child already grappling with a life-altering DNA revelation now found herself witnessing a public family implosion. Cameras captured her frozen reaction, caught between loyalty, confusion, and pain. In that moment, the true cost of exposed secrets became painfully clear. This was no longer about adults arguing. It was about a child forced into the spotlight of a scandal she never asked for. As the alleged altercation unfolded, social media detonated almost instantly. Within minutes, clips of the confrontation spread across platforms, trending worldwide.